You have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
We some lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let them boys get loose. It's a new day, Honolulu Blue got the boys on a crusade. Campbell throwing dukes, got golf at the Wings game. Hear his name, replay and replay and replay. Got him off the leash every Sunday. David Montgomery, Gibbs on the runway. Take a shot at Jameson and stumble out the hallway. Running in the hutch any day, that's a bad day. They don't wanna bring us up, keep us off the airways. America's team, sick of dealing with these Cowboys. Keep it in your hostess.
Welcome to the One Ass Cheek and Three Toes show. I am your host and your ass, Nathan Castro, and one of my toes here. How you doing?
What's going on?
And the other toe is here.
What's happening?
Your toe.
Yeah, the toe. toe for show. How y'all fellas doing, man? Y'all ready? Y'all ready to kick some ass today?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I'm ready, man. This is one of those weeks that I'm really very confident in these Lions, man. Seriously.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that for sure because I feel the same way you do. I think that the nerves of last week, I don't know what it is about Stafford and the Rams, they just give you a lot of anxiety. And I think that once we got that dub, I think the next game, people breathed a little bit of sigh of relief because let's be honest, Baker Mayfield is not Stafford by no means.
Right.
He's a different type of quarterback, but he's not Stafford. Stafford is an elite thrower. You know, we've seen that in Detroit. And yeah, he always plays his best against us. Yeah. So to get that dub was amazing. And we're going to turn the page. So let's go ahead and get started. Looks like the designations have not come out yet. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the injury report. So give me 1 sec. Let me pull that up real quick. Oh, man. How's the weather over there in Michigan, boys?
Nice.
Pretty nice. Yeah, it's about maybe 75 degrees, sunny out.
Okay. Nice weather, yeah. Good football weather, right?
Hell yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Really good football weather.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all, if we had a choice, would y'all rather play outdoors or indoors?
Outdoors.
Why?
Outdoors, man, they give you that feeling of football, man. You know, whether it's cold, rain, sleet, snow. I think inclement weather always defines football. Now, I don't have anything against indoor teams or playing indoors, but I mean, as a former athlete, former football player, man, I always like playing outdoors. You know, playing on real grass. You know, getting that. Just that air, you know, it was nice for me. I prefer outdoors.
How do you feel about that, B?
I think that I'm kind of split in between because this is a new NFL. Okay, where we come from, it's we like that old smash mouth in the rain, mud, and stuff like that, snow. Right. But the Lions have never had an outside facility since Brick Stadium, so you got to think about that. They still played pretty. I mean, they still played pretty well. It wasn't the team; it was the stuff around the team. I mean, Detroit's been garbage for a while, but I don't think it. A lot of new stadiums coming out are going to be dome stadiums. In fact, I think Chicago Stadium they're talking about putting a dome on that new one.
I think these new age domes are going to be open on the outsides like SoFi is, but it's going to be covered on top, so you can still feel the outside air, but it's going to be covered. And just to add to what you said, is the weather is a big factor. Like when you play up north, the weather's ugly. Is it football weather? Absolutely, it is 100% football weather because you being from Michigan, the Big House, Michigan State. All these stadiums are outdoors. However, the football is not the greatest outdoors. Let's be honest. It from a aura standpoint, it's awesome, but from a strategic, just the eye test, it's ugly. And injuries happen a lot in those kind of games because conditions aren't ideal.
Yeah, I think that's all a part of the game. I think that's one of the biggest knocks on players from the SEC. They never crossed the Mason-Dixon line. Alabama going to Wisconsin yesterday, not to talk about Now, that was one of the very few times that an
Sure.
SEC team came past the Mason-Dixon line and played football, and this is happening in September while it's still hot out. It's not like November when it gets 30 degrees and cold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it definitely affects the level of play. But
just imagine a team like Michigan from playing in the cold acclimating to playing in Oregon or California. Like that's a different type of atmosphere. Also, the climate and all that. So yeah, I'm excited for those games. I think it's awesome that they crossed each other in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I've been to Ford Field. I love Ford Field. It's an environment that I've never experienced in my life. And I've been to some stadiums. I've been to Jerry's World. I've been to the Texans. I've been to the Alamo Dome where the Saints played when they were after Katrina. Nothing compares to Ford Field. October 27th.
Wow. That's the type of experience I want right there.
Yeah, man, you could do it. But hey, let's go ahead and talk about the inactives. They just came out as soon as we were on the show. I figured they would. So we're going to go down the line here. So Ife Melifonwu is out.
Mm-hmm.
Ennis Rakestraw is inactive.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Nowalski, inactive. Giovanni Manu, inactive. Kobe Sorsdahl, inactive. Isaiah Williams, inactive. And Marcus Davenport is inactive. Tell me, first off, y'all's thoughts. Any surprises at all?
Yeah, Rakestraw is definitely a surprise.
I told you.
He wasn't even nowhere. I
told y'all about that. He's getting the rookie treatment. Simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. There are no surprises for me though. I mean, I kind of was high on Rakestraw last week. I'm thinking that he could have came in and make an impact, but I think they want to take it slow. And facing a team like the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, a very pass-heavy team, they don't want to just throw him out there and give him a huge role. Like Terrion Arnold looks like he's up to the job. So does Carlton Davis, knowing that's his former team. He may have a little bit of intel. How to play the receivers. So Marcus Davenport, no surprise. We knew he was dealing with the injury. We kind of spoke about that a couple of days ago. So no big surprises to me.
I think right now the reality is that Dorsey and Vildor are better than Rakestraw right now.
Yeah,
that's just the reality of it. Kendall Vildor is a cornerback that has played in big games that they trust, and Dorsey is a special teams ace. Like that is the main reason why he's on this team, because the guy is a great gunner and he is good on kickoff coverage. Like Phipp loves him. He always talks about him all the time. So Rakestraw will get his opportunity. I don't think it helped that he had a chance to down the ball and he ran into the ball. That was a huge play because you could have literally had Stafford at the 1 or 2 yard line with that loud ass crowd, and you gave him 20 yards extra on that play.
Yeah.
So got to be smarter. It's a rookie. He'll get better. It's a learning experience. We know that if you look at this roster, right, this inactive list, there's some guys that would probably been on the 53-man roster last year. Kobe Sorsdahl is one of them. Ife Melifonwu was hurt. Davenport, well, he wasn't on there last year. But Ife, Kobe, those are guys that they had on the 53 last year. This year, they're scratches this year. So that tells you the depth of this team, and the people they trust. The one really surprise for me is Isaiah Williams. Isaiah Williams was not on the injury report early in this week. He got hurt in practice. And we're really thin at receiver, y'all. Y'all want to talk about the D-line, about we're being not very much depth. We're one injury away from one of our big receivers for being in massive trouble.
I would agree, but I think that every receiving core is like that. When you think of
True.
Like a receiving trio like Chicago or Green Bay, if one of their receivers goes down, I mean, that's detrimental.
But Chicago has 3 guys that you could actually maybe argue that they could probably be ones at some point. Green Bay has a plethora of receivers to go throw out there. If we lose Amara or Jamison Williams, we're really screwed. We're really screwed.
I would say in Chicago, I mean, I only see one clear number 1 receiver, and that's still DJ Moore. Doomsday struggled. Keenan Allen struggled last week. Green Bay. I mean, they got a bunch of good receivers, but Jaden Reed is clearly their best receiver over there, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they have the depth or they have the star power. Like Keenan Allen would be a 1 on anybody's team. We can all agree with that. DJ he was last year. He was the number 1 receiver. You can say what you want to say. He was the number 1 receiver with the Chargers.
That was on the Chargers. A. B. No, he's not number 1 receiver this year. He's too slow. He's slowed down. His route running. Year.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's not even, I think he's questionable for this game against Houston. Yeah. Him and the rookie. So they're down to DJ Moore, really, if you think about it. And to Jay's point, he's his number 1. That's the number 1 receiver. I think in Green Bay has just a plethora of number 2s. Yeah. That's how I look at it. They don't have a number 1. They don't have a true number 1. And we're not bad at wide receiver. We got a whole bunch of wide receivers on the. If it push comes to shove, we'll just have to put them out, take them out the practice squad, and put them on there. We got Timmy Kennedy. We got Patrick. We got Allen. And we got DPJ. So if push comes to shove, those receivers will be put in there. And I wouldn't skip a beat, to tell you. Amon St. Brown's our number 1, so that might be a problem.
I'm saying for this game, if somebody of high caliber went down, it's going to be a tough game for our receivers because now you alluded to that. Let's talk about who they brought up. They brought up TK.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. My bad. No. Go ahead.
Yeah, they brought up TK, which he was brought up last week, so that's not surprising there. Mm-hmm. And Timmy Patrick is on the active roster today. So first off, what are y'all's thoughts on that, and what impact do you expect those 2 guys to make today?
Well, so just kind of piggybacking off of what BSTRILLA said, with this Lions team, if somebody gets hurt, like if, let's say St. Brown, God forbid, goes down, I think that will obviously be detrimental, but you still have people
be huge.
Like Goff, you don't see Goff just throwing 300 yards back-to-back each season. One thing that they want to do is run the ball. Now, they get their receivers the ball when that time is needed, but if they can run the ball and do some of the clock out, I think that would be still a good formula for a Lions team to win. You don't want Tampa Bay to have the ball and them controlling the ball. That's obviously a sign that they are winning. Now, with bringing up Tim Patrick and Tom Kennedy, I think that it's just, they signed Patrick for a reason. They wanted to be able to rotate guys in and out. You don't want it to be just the Jameson Williams, St. Brown game. You want to see everybody have a piece of the pie. Tom Kennedy, yes, that was a bit of a surprise because I've never seen him more than being just a practice squad player. Like if all your receivers are down, then you may have to throw him in there and he get the bulk of the targets. That's how I seen it. But Tim Patrick, I think he's going to be more of a decoy than anything. I don't think he's going to get 7, 8 targets. I think it's going to be maybe 2 or 3 throws out of the whole game.
Okay.
Tom Kennedy, like I said, that was a bit of a surprise though. But I think
it was a surprise to me. The guy's on the roster for a reason.
Yeah,
and I think the guy you can't get rid of him. He's always there.
Of course, I just think it's one of those games that you're going to see a lot of running the ball today. I don't think you're going to see.
Let's not jump ahead. Let's not jump ahead. We'll get to that point.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going. Run game is going to be paramount. Go ahead, B.
Well, think about this. Last week, they had Isaiah Williams, and he did not play. He didn't get any targets. Neither did Timmy. He didn't get none either. So, and in the way that Ben Johnson is trying, in fact, I've heard some chatter about them going to a 2-back set. So that might be something that they're going to look into as well. Ben Johnson's, like I said, he's got so many pieces he can play with right now.
Right.
So he's going to have to utilize everything. And I think this is the mindset when they came into the season. And this is the reason why they weren't really desperate for receivers, because they already had a mindset going into this season that run was going to be a possibility that they're going to lean on. And that's what I'm saying about this 2-back set, something that the Lions haven't used for a long time. And then on top of that, you never know. They might bring Patrick might come in there just for, just to see if he can do some things. And, Ben Johnson is the one that wants to experiment with certain things. That's the reason why we saw certain things last week, certain plays last week. And Amon didn't really get a lot of the bulks of the catches because they were trying to do different things out there offensively. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had Patrick in for any of the plays that, maybe an end around or, maybe a slot throw that he gets that he runs across the field like a JMO. Because he is fast. He's a big guy and he's fast. So, you want to try to utilize that guy some way or somehow, just to see if he's still got the wheels. It's just to see if he's still got game ready. I mean, he's been on the practice squad for 2 or 3 weeks now. Yeah, and I'm sure they've seen what the hell he can do. And plus, he just came off of he came off of preseason pretty well. So they might just stick him in there just for the heck of it. For a couple of plays. I'm not saying he might not get anything. I could just be, assuming stuff, but he might not get anything, just like Isaiah and Timmy didn't get last week. So can you go either way?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think Patrick could have a bigger role in this game than people are giving credit for. And I'll tell you why. Is for one, he's a veteran receiver. He knows the route tree. He's seen a lot of defenses. So the guy is miles ahead of JMO as far as football knowledge, okay? And so I could see that him and Goff could have a early connection with each other just for this game because of the fact is that, he might be trusting, a veteran receiver who can know how to get open, who's a big body receiver, who can high point the ball, who can go on a go route if needed with his speed. Also, too, J-Mo's banged up a little bit. He's got a bum ankle. He was limited in practice all week, and this kind of brings me to a concern with Ben Johnson. Listen, I like Jamison Williams with his speed on the end arounds, but the problem is when you go put a receiver on end around, you're putting that guy in danger because what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go for his legs and his knees, and as a receiver, you need those to run. So I don't like that idea of getting JMO hurt because that's a big weapon we need all season, guys. Agreed. And JMO's not a big receiver. He's a very thin man. If you watch him outside of his pads, he's a very thin dude. Yeah. So you need to keep him healthy at all cost. So don't be surprised if TK and Patrick get a lot of targets possibly. Because of JMO's,
I'm not sure, because look at it in this way. I think they'd be more of like decoys because if you are giving Tim Patrick a role, kind of like let's just say a good decent amount of responsibility, still taking away reps from other people that are going to play. Yeah, JMO's banged up, but let's not get it misunderstood. He's our number 2 receiver, and on top of that,
but he's not 100% healthy.
I agree.
He's on a bum ankle right now.
I agree, but I don't think JMO is going to get 15 targets this game. It'll be a couple of targets, get him a couple snaps, and use him for maybe an over-the-top catch. But, you still got Jahmyr Gibbs that's going to line up out wide. That's going to – I think they don't want to really take away the game plan too much. I think he's there just more, like I say, decoy depth kind of person because you still got to get the ball to Amon-Ra. That's your all-pro receiver. That's the first place Jared Goff is going to look.
But don't force it. Don't force it. I'm going to make it very clear. If he's covered, do not throw the ball in that coverage.
I agree.
Throw it away, take a sack, throw it to somebody else.
Yeah, second way he's going to look is at Sam Laporta. Those are 2 guys that were virtually non-existent last game, and you want to get your playmakers the ball. That's no secret. Right. 3, Jamison Williams is going to be the other guy. 4, maybe an off-balance catch for somebody. You catch the defense off guard, and you can get the ball maybe to Tim Patrick. But I'm really looking at the core players right now. Those are the people that are going to be the X factors. Yeah. Those are going to be the people that you want to make plays because we're in a hard – really quick, Nate. We're in a hard battle right now. We're playing a bunch of playoff teams. We started off with 2 playoff teams. Sure. And these teams are looking for redemption, like we all can agree, that they want to come in and they're going to give us their all. They're not going to just come in and play pity pat pancake with us, because they're going to come out and want to punch the Lions in the mouth. And the only way you can respond back and win big is by getting your playmakers the ball and showing the whole NFL why they are all pros.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying, man. The thing I'm just looking at is that if J-Mo has been limited with an ankle injury, that tells me he's not going to be at full speed. Mm-hmm. And that's his biggest thing about him is his speed. If he's not 100% on that ankle, he's not going to be able to get to top speed. And that worries me because he could get jammed. So, yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how it happens. I mean,
can I fight back with that? I'm going to fight you back a little bit on that.
Go for it.
So last year around this time, week 2 Seattle, Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't really living up to the expectation that we had set for him, right? But the Lions still went out there and they did their business, whether they played the Kansas City Chiefs, when they were, the Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, you still had Laporta. You still had, Montgomery. You got to also factor in the reps that they're going to want to run the ball as well. Since you got
no. I'm with you. The matchups is where it's going to come down to, and let's go into matchups because that's a perfect segue into the next topic. Okay, so let's talk about the matchups for this team. Let's start with the offense first. Give me your best offensive matchup that you want to see executed.
I want to see Sam Laporta gash that defense up, man. I want to see Sam Laporta get 6-7 catches. I want him damn near at 100 yards, if not exceeding 100 yards. I want to show the NFL that last year, him being second team All-Pro, that wasn't a fluke. This guy is going to be here for a long time. And Travis Kelce, your time might be coming as the best tight end in the game. It's Sam Laporta's now. A tight end is a quarterback's best friend. Jared Goff has always leaned on his tight end, whether it was Higbee, whether it was Brock Wright, and now Sam Laporta. He's always leaned heavily on his tight end to make some big catches and big plays. I want to see Sam Laporta get at least a touchdown and 7 catches for 100 yards.
Now I'm going to rebuttal you. No, I'm going to rebuttal you on Laporta real quick. He's going to go against Levante David, one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. So Laporta it's going to be tough. Now, can he do it? Yes, he can. But I don't know how much he's going to get targeted with Levante David on him almost all game.
Yeah.
Go ahead, B.
I want to see Jahmyr Gibbs, a little bit more of him this game. Yeah. I think last game it was about Monty breaking through that line, getting those reps. Jahmyr kind of faded out at the second half. He didn't get as many carries or many reps as Monty did. Yeah. But I understand the course of the game too. They wanted to bully
they ran the hot
defensive
hand.
line.
Monty was running crazy.
I wouldn't call it the hot hand. I would just say that the offensive line and him are bulls. So they put the bulls with the bulls instead of putting the gazelle out there, which was Jahmyr Gibbs. They need to do all that. They just need to stuff that ball down their throats in that overtime. So that's what they did. I want to see him play more. Their secondary is banged up. Like I said, Cansey's not playing. So that's part of their defensive tackle duo right there with Villa. And they can't. That's another thing. You're not going to be running straight at Villa. Yeah, you can't. Villa is a beast. He is a very underrated defensive tackle, dude.
It's like DJ Reader, man. He's a hard man to move.
It's going to be hard to be running today for both sides, to tell you the truth. Even for that rookie that did very well last week for Tampa Bay, but still, I would outside running. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the guy I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm gonna say the Sun God, St. Brown, because he eats when he goes in zone. He just sits in the zone and he gets himself open. And with the secondary being banged up, they're not all pro. Winfield's not in the game, which is huge. I think their other cornerback, one of the other starting cornerbacks, is banged up. So I think St. Brown eats. I would definitely, if I'm a fantasy owner, I'd put him in the game today because somebody was asking me about St. Brown, and I think he could easily have over 10 catches and 100 yards. I really do. I think he eats all day, and I think that Goff will take more of the short throws today, be more safer with his passes and just take whatever the defense gives him.
I like that.
Yeah.
I actually like that. Boy, yeah, St. Brown, like I said, he was non-existent last game. So
yeah,
he's looking for a redemption game. He know he can play a role, even if it's not a big role, and getting the big catches for 100 yards. He wants to be able to be impactful some way, somehow. So, I've never seen him go back-to-back games where he just was non-existent and can't get at least 100 yards.
Let me say something real quick about St. Brown, because I've heard that comment all week. He was non-existent. He wasn't a factor. Dude, he was the biggest factor of the game. He prevented that interception that Goff pretty much tailor-made for that guy to get, and he knocked it down. If he don't knock down that pick, we lose the game, because that dude was going to pick it off. He even said that in his podcast. He's like, and the guy even said, like, holy fuck, like, you're a good dude. Because, like, that's a play for the team. Like, yeah, he didn't catch all the balls. He didn't make all the yards. But, dude, that was huge. Like, a lot of people forget about that. The Montgomery touchdown doesn't happen in overtime if he doesn't knock that ball down. Because I promise you that guy was going to pick it off. And they were going to run the clock out, and it was going to be over.
Hey, man, if Jamison Williams doesn't catch that touchdown pass, the Lions lose as well, right? Or if Carlton Davis or Brian Branch doesn't.
But the impact of what I'm trying to say is the impact of that play, because if he makes that pick, Jake Bates don't tie the game up. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree 100%. But
Period.
what I'll say is that I think when you look at St. Brown, obviously we know that one of the biggest priorities for that offense is to block. Whoever gets the ball, you want a convoy in front of you. You want your blockers out in front of you. You want to be able to pick up an extra man that may be coming in. And, St. Brown, he struggled last game. And I don't think it was just really due to ability.
He got bracketed, bro. He got bracketed all game.
He couldn't just find his rhythm. And that happens. Sometimes it happens. Look at Justin Jefferson. It's times that it was
more the scheme.
St. Brown didn't get bracketed. He got a little bit bracketed during the game, but he was open for a lot of the plays. Mm-hmm. They just didn't run the offense through Amon. There's something that you got to understand.
Yeah, and
on the play that they threw to J-Mo, Amon St. Brown burned his guy too. Yeah. He could have threw to J-Mo or St. Brown, because St. Brown just burned absolutely through that guy. So he was open on a lot of plays. It's just that wasn't set in the offensive scheme that the Lions were running. Like I said, Ben was trying to do different things.
Right.
You got to watch Ben during the beginning of the seasons. He does different things. Like the first 4 games, he tries out different offensive things so he can find out where his people are, the troops are at, where he can run and what he can't run. So a lot of times people will say in those 4 games, Ben is not doing his job. Yes, he is. He's just trying to figure out what he can do.
He's filling out the offense. He's filling out the offenses and what people have. Yeah, I agree.
And I just think, people are getting on St. Brown. I mean, I don't think they're getting on St. Brown. But as Goff, for instance, Goff has to have a way better game than he had the first game. Way better. Regardless of that interception that St. Brown knocked away, he still threw another interception that could have just ended the game that the guy dropped, fortunately, because he would have caught that was game over right there.
That was a hell of a play too. So credit to the defense on that one.
No, the one that he threw right to the defensive player that dropped it. That was the
you're talking about the one. You're talking about Kobe Durant, the one that caught it up high and then came down and dropped it, right? Okay.
Yeah. That was.
I credit that one more to the defender, because Goff, you just need to put more air on that. If he puts more air on that, J-Mo's got a huge touchdown because that guy falls and there's nobody behind him. But yeah, I mean, he's got to put the ball in better places. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
don't force
he's got to definitely do a bunch better here.
But the one thing I'll say about St. Brown is St. Brown don't care if he has 0 catches as long as they win. He's in that mode that all I care about is we win. And he said that himself. He's like, hey, I'm happy for J-Mo. I'm happy for everybody else. As long as we get the win, I don't care. I love hearing that, because you don't hear that all the time. You hear, especially from receivers. give me the ball. They scream, they holler, they kick things, whatever. St. Brown just wants to win. I love that. And he's going to get his. There's 17 games left, guys. He's going to get his.
Right.
So, all right, let's go to the defense. Give me your best matchup on defense. We'll start with you, B.
Best match. Let's see. I would have to say. I'd have to say whoever's covering Godwin. And Godwin lines up in a bunch of places too, and I think Amik and whoever's CB2, well, Arnold, they have to do a good job on him. Basically, I would put that more on Amik because Godwin often lines up more in the slot than he does on the outside.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
So Amik's got to play a good game. I'm really looking forward to seeing Brian Branch do a better job. I think he was just getting a feel for his safety position, and he was moving. I think he was moving too fast for even himself in that game. So I think he's just going to pump the brakes a little bit. He's going to make him move when he needs to make his move instead of being so excited like he was the last time. So he'll be fine. But Amik Robinson, I'm looking forward to see if he can lock down Godwin because they did it last year. But that was with Brian Branch. And Brian Branch did a good job on Godwin. So when he had lined up against him. So that's what I'm looking for.
What about you, Jay?
Aiden Hutchinson versus Tristan Wirfs.
Woo! I like it.
That's going to be the matchup.
The Big Ten rivalry.
Sir. So, true story. I dated a girl from Iowa a couple of years ago, related to that guy. So, it's crazy. So Tristan Wirfs versus Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a big deal with Davenport being out, and Aiden Hutchinson is going to have to take on a huge role in the pass rush. I think that's going to be a matchup to see. A lot of people forget Tristan Wirfs is an all-pro tackle as well. He's really good. That's Baker Mayfield's best friend right there. So if Aiden Hutchinson can somehow beat Tristan Wirfs and he can get in the backfield, he doesn't necessarily have to just get sacks, but get pressure. Throw Baker Mayfield off. Get your hands up if you want to throw the ball, try to bat it down.
Right.
If you can just keep him under stress the whole game, force Baker out of the pocket, make him make uncomfortable throws, I think that's going to be a huge key factor for the Detroit Lions on defense.
The good thing about that matchup is that every day Aiden goes against 58. And 58 is similar to Tristan Wirfs. They're the same body type, they're athletic as hell, they're big guys, very versatile pieces. So he already gets that every day going against Penei Sewell. Now, the one thing about Wirfs is that Wirfs is a stout dude. Like, he is very smart at his age. He's still a young guy. He's not very old.
Very young.
He's a very smart guy. And the spin move is the one I really want to see if Aiden's spin move has gotten more refined. Because we saw that spin move against the Rams. He did it on one of the backup tackles, and that was pretty sweet. He didn't get the sack, but that spin move almost got that sack. You're going to have to be more creative with Wirfs. Because I don't think straight bull rush or straight power is going to work.
No.
Because Wirfs is a strong ass dude.
Yeah.
So I think you're got to be more creative with the spin move, maybe the swim. I don't know. He's got to, like I said before, if Aiden wants to be talked about as one of the top defensive ends in this NFL, along with the Myles Garrett, the TJ Watts, the Nick Bosas, the Micah Parsons, he has got to win against these kind of tackles. If he doesn't win against these kind of tackles, he's not there yet. And that's okay. But this is a great matchup for him because if he can get at least a couple of sacks off Wirfs and just freak the hell out of Baker Mayfield, we all know what Baker's like when he runs. He's not that good.
Yeah, he makes a lot of mistakes as well.
Exactly. So if he's not trusting his left tackle, Baker's going to run.
Yeah.
Or he's going to make bad throws because he's not going to be able to trust Wirfs to hold his water. So that's where I'm putting out an APB to Aiden. I want to see you dominate this dude because if you can dominate this dude, then I can say, hey, bro, you're up there. Because all those other guys I mentioned, they can beat anybody almost.
Yeah, 100%.
Period.
I totally agree. And
I will be happy with Hutchinson just making an impact once in a while. Tristan Wirth is a great left tackle.
Sure, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right that that's just like negative. That's just like one side chopping the other side off till they meet at the middle. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a good battle to watch. What you want to see, because you know that's going to be a detrimental matchup. You want to see the defensive coordinator, AG, listen, do different, stunt inside. It's not about that matchup on the outside all the time. If you know you have a solid left tackle that you're playing against, you got to start stunting in the areas that they're weak at. And right now, one of their offensive line that was supposed to be a starter is out for a year. So they're going to have to utilize the rest of those 4 guys on that offensive line by doing stunts, blitzes in certain areas. Don't make Aiden do all the work. That's the problem that the Lions do sometimes. They make Aiden Hutchinson do all the damn work. He shouldn't have to do all the work. That's what you're a defensive coordinator for. You got to utilize the pieces that are up front. And not they got DJ Reader. That should alleviate some of the pressure off of Aiden from playing a perfect game to try to make the game, break.
Everybody's going to have one-on-one opportunities. They got to win their one-on-ones. Dan always says that.
I agree. I want to see how the Lions defense adjusts to like the Buccaneers adjustments, because the Rams kind of picked out one of the Lions' weaknesses, and that's when the Lions play zone defense. And that's why Stafford killed us last week, because he would get rid of the ball so fast. Now,
but that was a schemed reason. Like AG said that himself. He was going to give him the dink and dunks.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about, pro athletes that are going to make game plans to take other people out of the game, right? And one thing that teams had success on was dink and dunks, right? So if you get rid of the ball quick, fast, in a hurry, you know that Chris Godwin or Mike Evans can chew up a big 5 to 6 yard catch and, keep going after that. I want to see the Lions adjust. Now, if you see one thing isn't working, if zone coverage and zone blitzes aren't working, how about you go to the man blitz? How about you start playing man defense? Have your guy like right up there. I mean, if you think about it, Nate,
I don't want to see Terry and Arnold man coverage so many times, man. He's still young, bro.
Hey, you know what? Listen, he's our first round pick. He's supposed to be.
I get it, man. But he's still young. He's still young.
Give him that chance. Give him that. You don't have to put him on the best player, but give him that chance to go out there and make mistakes. You seen you seen Dan Campbell preach all week that he didn't want to discourage Terry and Arnold for getting the 2 pass interference calls.
Right.
Because
he shouldn't. He shouldn't. That's out of his control. He's trying to play the ball as much as he can, and they're going to call it close. This is not college. College, you can get away with murder in college, but you can't do that in the NFL.
Of course. So I want to see them how they make adjustments. If one thing isn't working, I want to see you go to another thing. I don't want to see you keep going in zone coverage and they throw 15 times in a row and you're just completing 5-6 yard passes and they're just getting up and down the field. I want to see them get off the field on third.
But here's the thing. I'm going to rebuttal you on that, because if you play zone coverage, you have to tackle. You have to get them down. And the Lions did that because they only allowed 5 explosives the whole game. And the NFL is all about explosives. I think they said in their pressers this week that usually if you get an explosive allowed, it's either a touchdown or a field goal. Because it's a big play that's probably going to lead to points. So the Lions only gave up 5 explosives. Stafford threw for almost 50 attempts. He only had 300 yards and 20 points. That's a huge win against the defense.
I agree, but I'm gonna push back with that worked for them. It kind of worked big time for them.
It worked for us too, because that's what we wanted. We don't want Stafford throwing the ball deep all the time.
I agree. It was the reason why Cooper Kupp got a touchdown and over 100 yards, because what they did worked. Like I said, that's one of the Lions' biggest problems right there. Aaron Glenn, I don't know if he is unable to adjust, but I don't think all the time he makes the necessary adjustments.
I disagree with the adjustment part, because I think that his game plan was fine. He limited the big plays. The secondary kept the passes to 5 to 6 yard plays, and they were stout in the red zone.
But they still scored. It's the thing.
It doesn't matter. They were stout in the red zone. Like, this Lions defense is not going to be a shutdown defense. We need to get that out of our head. It's not a shutdown defense. This is a defense that can make plays.
They don't need to be a shutdown defense, but what they need to do is be efficient on third down. If it's 3rd and 6, do not let them get a short pass for 6 yards.
But if he's throwing it out 2 seconds, bro, what are you supposed to do?
You say what?
If he's throwing out less than 2 seconds, what are you supposed to do?
Adjust.
Not play zone. When you play man, you bump and run off the receivers. If he's got to throw at 2.1 seconds, that means he's got to find a target. And if he can't find a target within that time, and you're playing man coverage and you're bumping the receiver off a route, that's going to mess up the whole timing. That was the reason why I had a problem with him playing zone in certain situations.
Yes, big time.
Like third downs, he was having problems. But zone, I understand where he wanted to go to zone sometimes because it's Stafford. Okay, you got to give Stafford his props. I don't give a damn.
Of course,
of course. So you got to play zone sometimes. But on third downs that were crucial that they got first downs on because they were getting first downs, on third downs in the beginning of the game. Is because you did not play man coverage. And like you just said, he took him 2.1 seconds to get the ball out of his hand, 2 seconds to get the ball out of his hand. However, at the same time, if you bump those damn receivers off, you're throwing the timing off. Stafford was almost getting picked off on a few plays by Brian Branch. Not Terrion Arnold, but Carlton almost had a pick. Yeah, and that was just that. And a lot of those. Where I think a couple of those where they were in zone, but another couple they were in man. If you do that and you mess up the receiver's timing route, Stafford has got no choice either to throw it away or try to fit it into tight coverage, which he tends to do sometimes.
Believe it or not, the most effective I saw the defense against Stafford was pressure when they blitzed him. But that's a tough situation because you put those new guys on islands. And you're hoping that they're going to win their matchup,
that's what they get paid to do.
No, I get it. I understand.
And another thing too is you can't treat Arnold with kid gloves. You can't. He's got to go out there. He's a number 1 pick. Get him out there. If he makes a mistake, it's what he does after he does that mistake. If he gives up a touchdown, if he comes back with his head hung low, that's a problem. If he comes back up there and says, you know what, I'm getting this pick next time it's thrown my way, and he does that,
and that is Arnold. He's very confident. Yes, he's very confident.
So I'm not. I need to see that you're out there for a reason. They put you on a 22-man starting list for a reason. So do that. They have confidence in what you're doing.
Like Nate, would you agree that last week that with Matthew Stafford only needing just above 2 seconds, right? That was a big time struggle for the Lions. Like on third down, they were picking up easy conversions.
But that's one of the fastest throwing releases in the NFL.
And you know why? Because he literally had a target. If your corner isn't up on the line of scrimmage with your receiver, knocking him off his routes and doing things, he had a place to go always. You understand? Yeah. Like he had.
I get it, but here's the thing. Also with man, you better get home on the quarterback if you're going to go man.
Yeah,
and that's another reason we didn't see the pass rushing was effective at some points and ineffective at other points. Mm-hmm. Like when you don't have people that don't get home to the quarterback, you can play zone, man, whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter because quarterbacks can only cover for so long. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to play man, you sure as hell better get near that quarterback or at least rock him.
Right. Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about man coverage on third downs when he used zone. That's when they were getting the third downs because he was doing zone on third downs, which is a wrong thing to do. If the quarterback has to throw within 2.1 seconds or 2 seconds, that means the offensive line is getting their ass kicked by a defensive line. That's the reason why he's got to throw quick. And they knew that coming into the game. McVay had a plan. That's the reason why he did that. He knows AG. And the problem with AG is he's not consistent with his defense. If he was playing man coverage, I guarantee it'd been a rougher time for Stafford. Stafford already had hardly any time to be thrown in the first place. He did an excellent job with what he had.
But you're also hoping that those cornerbacks can jam the receivers at the line. And
like I said, that is their job. If they
but here's the thing. I'm gonna rebuttal you on that. In the NFL nowadays, they're very quick to pull the flag on these handsy cornerbacks. And let's be honest, Terrian and Carlton Davis are very physical cornerbacks. So if you jam them too much or you grab them like Arnold was doing, you're going to call for PIs or holdings. So that might be another reason why AG didn't run all the men, because they knew they were going to.
If you're calling the game scared as a defensive coordinator, you just lost. Really,
I agree.
You're giving the offense a whole bunch of chances. You got to let these players play. You got to let them. If they got to make the mistakes, they're going to make the mistakes. You can play physical on receivers nowadays. You just got to know where to put your hands at, what not to do, and you can't grab them within 5. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold them within 5 yards. You can't do that. You gotta be able to let the corners play.
And I'm not saying play scared. I'm saying you play to your strengths, and the thing is that also the game plan worked. Because you limited the big passes, you limited the explosives, and you made Stafford throw 50 times. Most quarterbacks, if you throw 50 times, you're not winning a game. Because that means you have no run game at all.
But
think about this.
What was the big factor in that is that the Rams could not get their running game down pat, so they picked up on their strength. They were like,
of course, if you can't run the ball, you're going to throw it. That's just
Cooper Kupp is always open. He's always open. I don't care.
But that's the problem I had with the defense. We were beating them by 14 points. They came back in the second half. This is what I'm talking about, the defense. Not because of Goff. You have to move down the field.
We were up by 11 points, and Goff threw that freaking pick, and that led him back in that game. We had him on the ropes.
However, regardless with the offensive, this is the correlation you're not getting. It doesn't make a difference. It's like the San Francisco game. Okay. So they went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, but they had a 14-point lead. They went all the way back down the field and scored. That's on the defense. That ain't on the offense. That's not on the offense. When you got a lead, your defense is supposed to hold the lead. It doesn't make a difference what your offense does unless they keep fumbling it to them.
Unfortunately, it puts them in a bad position. But ultimately, yes, I do agree that the defense needs to make a play and get a stop.
But you also have to take into consideration too. Would you rather let a team go score a touchdown or do over 10 plays and run half the clock down, or would you rather them score in 2 seconds?
I'd rather. That's hard. It depends on the situation. It's all situational.
You're running 5 minutes off the clock.
If they run 5 minutes off of the clock, depending if it's still the beginning of the game, then obviously you'd be like, okay, I'll be fine with that because I can do the same thing. I can keep time of possession going on my side as well. But one thing I will say is that if our defense was able to just make Matthew Stafford hold on to the ball a 1/10 of a second more, that would have threw the whole game plan off, because who knows who could have gotten home at that time in that amount of time to throw Stafford off, and that's where man comes into play, because in man, he wouldn't have been able to throw the ball in 2 seconds, because why? There would have been a defensive back there. You would risk either losing yards or risking an interception, and that's what we seen. I don't know if any of you guys follow Michigan football, but that's what we seen with Will Johnson when they played Fresno State. They were killing Michigan on the short yards, but as soon as Will Johnson jumped the route, they got into Wink Martindale, went into man coverage. Who got the pick six? Will Johnson. Why? Because he was right there. They adjusted, and that's something that I want to see Aaron Glenn do. I think that's going to be one of the biggest indictments on the defense is how well are you going to play zone coverage? And if you're getting eaten up in zone coverage, are you going to switch to man? Are you going to make that adjustment to where they can't?
Oh, he did play man defense too, dude. He didn't play zone all game.
He played a little bit of it, but at first it was atrocious. That's the reason why you've seen them getting killed, and that's the reason why Matthew Stafford only had to hold on to the ball for like 2.8 seconds, because he can just get the ball out really fast. Now, if you got, whether it's Ray Straw, Arnold, Davis, or Robertson, if one of those defensive backs are right there covering the receiver, they can catch the ball, but they're going to get caught at the line of scrimmage. That'll give enough time for the linebackers to come over and make a play, or the other defensive backs to come and play. You just can't get killed on the short passes, man. You have
that man defense. I mean, that zone defense also had opportunities. We could have took the ball away. We just dropped it. Like BB broke about 2 or 3 plays literally on a play and dropped it. Like that's the thing about zone is you have more opportunities to get the ball. Like you need to do it. You need to take advantage of that.
That's if they're going downfield. That's if they're throwing deep passes. But if they're going short yardage, and you didn't see Matthew Stafford throw a 60-yard pass on 2.8 seconds. You didn't see it.
They weren't going to allow it.
Yard passes, little 4-6-yard passes. That's a huge thing because they knew Aaron Glenn wasn't adjusting well. I'm sorry. I like Aaron Glenn. I think he's going to be a head coach somewhere someday. But he wasn't adjusting well. It took the Rams to come and get the lead back to make the proper adjustment.
I disagree with that. But
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. It's totally fine. The main thing is the defense has to be better on all facets, period.
I agree.
The pass rushing has to be better. The coverage has to be better. AG's got to be better. But I'll say this, that I don't think AG's losing sleep over Baker Mayfield. He was losing sleep over Stafford because Stafford's an elite thrower. He can make all the throws in the NFL, tight windows, pinpoint passing. Baker is a lot less than Stafford is in that aspect. The Baker effect is more of the wiggle, the rollout, the escapability aspect of his game and keeping his head downfield. Stafford doesn't have that. Stafford's like, I'm going to make my first read and go, or I'm going to get sacked. We saw that with Detroit, right? He would throw to Calvin. If Calvin went open, we got sacked.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily how his mindset is. I think that in this particular game, he had no offensive line. I mean, hell, you had Jonah Jackson playing center.
That's very true. No, exactly.
Yeah. When you don't trust your line, you don't have that mental capacity to trust your line for good reasons. Then you're going to play better. You're going to play at a different level. So, I mean, Stafford saw that. If he's behind a good line like he was when he won the Super Bowl with the Rams, that was a decent line. He had no problems. Mm-hmm. So it's just a mindset of what you got going on up there. He's a veteran. He knows. That's
why I say Wirfs and the Hayden matchup is so huge, because the fact is that if Wirfs even has any pressure allowed by Aiden, Baker's going to be looking on his other side and be like, "Are you good, dude? Or do I have to run now?" I mean, now he's going to be doubting himself because his big stalwart is not holding down. It's like if Decker was getting his shit eaten all game. You don't think Goff is going to be a little bit hesitant? Like, oh man, I got to make these passes a lot faster. I got to make my decisions a lot quicker because Decker's not holding his water. The same thing with Wirfs. If we can make Wirfs even freak out, or if Aiden just bull rushes the shit out of him and gets to Baker, watch Baker's hesitancy and his rollout ability more. I promise you'll see that very quickly if Wirfs is struggling against Aiden, which we hope. But let me go to my matchup since we got all that discussion out. I am going to say Carlton Davis versus Mike Evans.
I like that.
That is the matchup I want. Because if you take out Mike Evans, you take out the Bucs offense.
No.
That is, yes. You can say all you want to say about Godwin. I don't care. Mike Evans is the engine that makes that machine run. Mike Evans is every aspect of one of the best receivers in the NFL that nobody talks about. All he does is 1,000 yards every year, 100 catches, and about 10 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Find me a receiver that does that every season since he started. He is one of the best receivers out there that nobody talks about. Mike Evans is a beast. And if Carlton Davis, who he knows very well, he knows exactly Mike Evans, just like Mike Evans knows Carlton Davis. If he can go in and be physical, because he's got to be physical. It's not going to be Terrian's job to be physical with Mike Evans. He will throw him like a rag doll. I promise you. But if Carlton Davis can hold his own and be physical with Mike, then you're going to see a tough situation for Baker. Because you take away Mike Evans out of the equation, yeah, you got Godwin, but you also got Terrian and Meek on Godwin. I don't know who the other receivers are.
Don't forget about White.
I'm not worried about White, bro.
I mean, he's pretty good. I mean,
we're gonna stop. I'm telling you right now, we're gonna stop the run. They ain't gonna be running on the ball.
He has 6 catches for 75 yards, and I want to say he averaged 12.5 yards per carry.
Yeah, that's but he ain't Mike Evans, bro. He ain't. I mean,
and Mike Evans.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, dude, you take away Mike Evans, you're gonna make life a lot harder for Baker Mayfield.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So that is my matchup. Carlton Davis, you want to earn your bag? Here you go. Let's see what you got, bro. Because I swear to God, if you get beat every second with Mike Evans, bro, you ain't worth the money. Put me a rookie out there. Give me Ennis Rakestraw already. Give me somebody else. But you ain't worth the money, bro. I'm sorry. You want the bag? I want to see this matchup against one of the best receivers out there. That's it.
You know, I'm gonna tell you what. Right now, they're not gonna leave Carlton Davis out there on an island with him. It's just not gonna happen. They're not, because you just made the point. Mike Evans is out there. He's the best. He's one of the best receivers in the league that nobody talks about. He is one of the best receivers. I'd never take that for granted. I try to get that dude on fantasy football all the time because he's consistent.
Sure. On
that is, I want to see what AG does as far as helping Carlton Davis out, though. I want to see what safety they bring down. If it's Kirby has an ankle issue as well. They got Lauren Strickland up here, so I don't know whether they're going to bring Brian Branch over to that side to be strong. I don't know.
I want to see 1-on-1 with him.
Yeah, I don't. If you see him 1-on-1, I'm not saying Carlton Davis can't, but 9 out of 10 times, who's winning that matchup is Mike Evans. So
when we talk about, listen, defenses, whether you guys believe it or not, everybody runs different coverages and defenses. This isn't Madden. You don't run the same defense the whole game, okay? Everybody runs different schemes, different defenses. The thing is that you got Carlton Davis for a reason. He came out in his press conference and said, I'm a shutdown corner. Those are exact words. I can lock down one side of the field. Show it.
Hey, you know what? I'm a millionaire. Just because I say I'm a millionaire don't mean I am a millionaire. That's no shot.
Well, then we're not paying him that money if he can't do it. That's all I'm saying.
Listen,
I'm moving on from him.
Carlton Davis be a shutdown corner, but do you really trust him to be out there on the island with Mike Evans? Now,
I don't know. I have not seen a lot of Carlton Davis play. I do not know.
Listen, we all give Mike Evans his flowers as one of the greatest receivers of all time.
Sure.
And Debo, one of the most underrated receivers of all time.
Sure.
Right? So with Carlton Davis, a lot of his play came into question in his later years in Tampa Bay because it was times that he blew coverage. It was times that he got beat by his man. You're still going up against a highly functional Mike Evans that can give you, between 75 and 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns per game. And you don't want to risk that, especially when it's a pivotal game like today. You're going to want to bring some safety help. Kirby Joseph needs to be.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. If you bring safety help, you're taking Brian Branch away from what he does best, and that's play the field. Then Kirby Joseph, I don't trust Kirby Joseph with help because that guy always never goes deeper. He always plays closer. And so there's the communications off sometimes. That was what Biggs knocked on Kirby last year.
Listen, I am fine with that. We just can't let Mike Evans go out there and eat because when Mike Evans gets hot, it is very hard to stop him.
Sure. Remember the playoff game? Guy couldn't be covered.
It's very hard to stop that. Just ask Philadelphia. You understand what I'm saying? Or
just ask us. Remember the playoffs, the game last year? He killed us.
Yes.
Every play. Darts.
That's because Sutton was playing man cover. They were trying to make Sutton a man coverage corner, which he isn't. He's a zone. And he that one time when he tried to press on Mike Evans kind of like just ran right by him. And it was like, dude.
And I'm glad you said that or something. And I'm glad you said that, B, because that brings back to my point. You brought in Carlton Davis for a reason. To play man. Let's see it.
Hey, listen, I want to throw this out here really quick. It was like you seen the back of Cam Sutton's jersey. Every single play, he was getting killed, man. Yeah. I don't want that for our defense.
You know the worst part about that, too? He was actually playing zone coverage on one play, and he got beat. He had at least a 10-yard space. I was like, dude.
Yeah, let's not talk about Carlton Sutton, man. He's glad he's gone.
I've been said, man. I don't want to even think about putting Carlton Davis in that position, man, because Mike Evans is a pretty hard guy to stop.
Dude, trust me, I've watched Mike Evans since college. I know what he's about.
I just want to. So who covered Cooper Kupp last game?
Yeah, it was Carlton Davis and Terry Arnold.
How many yards Cooper
Kupp? No, because Kupp was playing in the slot a lot too.
He was. They moved him all over the field. Let me look.
I think Kupp is more in the slot. That was probably
Let me
neat.
look that up really quick.
I'm pretty sure it was in the slot mostly.
Cooper Kupp last week
he had to be a receiver 1 because Puka got hurt.
Yeah.
Cooper
He probably
Kupp,
was playing the slot when Puka was in the game.
he had 14 receptions for 110 yards.
110 yards, yeah.
A touchdown.
No, yeah, he had a great game, but I mean,
Well,
where did he
that,
primarily play? Where did he primarily play? I think he pretty much played the slot most of the time. That's where Cooper Kupp eats. He's like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He can play outside, but they love him in the slot because he's got that quickness and shift-like ability like Amon-Ra does.
They had him playing in the slot because of Puka Nacua being injured. So they kind of like switched roles. They were moving him over the field. But, I mean, make no qualms about it. Cooper Kupp was guarded by Carlton Davis a good amount of that game as well. And when
he was guarded by everybody, yeah.
Say that again?
He was guarded by almost everybody.
Yeah, he was guarded.
Arnold was on him sometimes too. Yeah, because he made Arnold look He made Arnold look dirty on the move. Like Arnold went wide and Cooper Kupp cut right in front of him and just like Arnold had his cake eating that one.
But you want to know, I like that. And why do I like that? Because it forced Terry and Arnold to adjust. That's to show you that Terry and Arnold is up to the challenge, no matter who it is.
That's the NFL, buddy. That's the NFL.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of players don't adjust well. Like if it was Cam Sutton, like we were just talking about, it would have been a totally different story. You know, Cooper Kupp may have had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? And you know, this is kind of only a further testament of why we should throw Terry and Arnold out there, take the training wheels off of him.
Don't worry, dude. He's going to get tested today. I promise you. Baker Mayfield's got a lot of moxie. Oh, yeah. And he's going to go after the rookie. I promise you. You. Terry and Arnold's going to have his chance.
Oh, yeah. I agree, man. Totally.
All right. So let's move on to keys of victory. What is it going to take for us to get a dub today? We'll start with you, B. Tell us. Y'all keep it short because y'all can go the whole thing and give everybody else nothing to talk about. So keep it short. Give me about 3 points. Give me 3 points of keys.
Well, they have to play better defense, line defense. I'm not talking about the back. I'm talking
the
about
D-line's got to
yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
They got to do it, and DJ Reader is going to provide that. They also have to run the ball effectively. And I'm not talking about Montgomery effectively. I'm talking about Jahmyr Gibbs effectively. You got to run to the outside. Like I said, you're not going to be able to run too much up the middle with Villa there. Goff has to play a better game. I tell you, the only phase of the game I don't see them having a problem with that they had a problem with that they didn't have a problem with last week was the special teams. Special teams, they were, except for that, Rakestraw little incident, but
they were solid. They've always been solid.
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
Jay, what you got?
Keys to the game for me: do not let Tampa Bay get hot. Go out there. If they receive the ball, make a statement and get off the field. Go out there and show them how physical you're going to play. 2, control the time of possession. Please be able to run the ball. I know they aren't going to just run it a whole lot. Well, I think they are going to run it a whole lot because that's this team's identity. But pick up first down.
The Bucs or the Lions?
Go out there. The Lions.
Okay.
Go out there, control time of possession. Do not let the Buccaneers get hot. 3rd key, please, whatever you do not get killed on 3rd down plays. Be able to get off the field on 3rd down. Do not let the short passes get you to where you're making it seem like you're building up a little bit of steam. You got them to about 3rd and 14, and then they think a short pass and it goes for 15 yards after the catch. Get off the field on 3rd down. Keys to the game.
All right. I'm going to go to mine. First off, limit the explosives. NFL is all about explosive plays. That's why fantasy football exists, because of explosive plays. They had 5 explosives last week. That's about where you want to be. I would like a little less. You limit the explosives, you have a really good chance of winning the game. That's first. Second of all, let's check a thought. Second of all, if you got a lead, run that football.
Yep.
Run it. Don't even think about it. Just keep running the football. I don't know if y'all watched Georgia and Kentucky last night, but Georgia, when they got that lead, they ran the football. You run the football when you get the lead because it chews the clock up, it wears the defense down, and it gives you more momentum. Okay? And then finally, I want to see our players in space. Because when you've got guys like JMO, you've got guys like Jameer, you've got guys like Laporta, you've got guys like St. Brown, you get them one-on-one, they're more likely going to win that battle. So I want to see Ben Johnson get our guys in space, whether it's screens, whether it's, little bubble passes, whatever. Get them on the outside, get them on the sidelines. Because the thing is, with Tampa, their strengths are inside, and we're not going to run inside. If we run inside, we are one damn good running football team. But I remember that game against the Bucs in Tampa. It was very hard. And yeah, Craig Reynolds was the running back, but it was very hard to run in that defense. So you got to get him out in space. And so if Ben Johnson can do that, I think we win this game going away. We'll get to that later. All right.
Sure.
So we got about 15 minutes till the hour. Yeah, 20 minutes. About 20 minutes to the hour. So real quick, give me your players of the game and why.
Players of the game.
Who's going to be your player on offense and defense? Do it that way.
Offense, I'm going to say St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
St. Brown. And the reason being is because, like I said, he was a little bit flat last week. He didn't get really too much involved in the game. Dan Campbell has said it time and time again in interviews that that's their guy. They know who you want to get the ball to on third down when you need to make a conversion. That's Amon-Ra. He's your all-pro, got an extension this offseason. Go out there and be that guy. That's my offensive player of the game. Defensive player of the game, Aiden Hutchinson. We've said it. People on the radio said it. Local media. Everybody says that Aiden Hutchinson needs to be that guy to take a big step. When you look at the first 3 years of Myles Garrett, Bosa, everybody have had to grow. This is your third year, Hutchinson. We need you to go out there and be that elite pass rusher. I think he can get about a sack or two this game. But let's see how it goes.
Okay. B, what you got?
Players of the game defensively, Aleem McNeil.
Ooh, I like that.
I think he's going to eat this. He's going to eat this game. I think this.
He loves having Reader back. You can tell his eyes get big when he hears Reader's back. He's excited.
Aleem McNeil and surprisingly enough, the other defensive player you would never think that I would say, but Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes has this little special knack against Tampa Bay for some reason. I don't know what it is, but this dude comes up big. So I'll give that one to Tampa Bay. As far as offensively, I already stated it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had a hell of a playoff game against them last year. As long as they run to the outside, and Villa was playing in that game too. You notice they didn't run too much up the middle. They had that one play that he ran up the middle for the touchdown, but that was because it was a stunt offensive line. He kind of sandwiched Villa to one side. I don't even think Villa was even in that play, but whatever. I mean, they just got to give it to him and let him do magic and golf, whether it's passing or running. So that's what I got.
All right. I'm going to say Whammo. I think that even on a bum ankle, the guy is still going to be able to get open and has awesome speed. He'll probably be like a 4.3 instead of a 4.2. That's okay. Still fast. So I think he'll make some good explosive plays. I think that Ben will get him on some drag routes, maybe get him on a double move. I think that's really where you want to get him the most opportunities because he's already shown he could do that. He did that at Alabama a lot. So definitely get him in those kind of situations. Again, get him in space. And then I'm going to say Jack Campbell. Jack had a quiet game his first game. It wasn't bad. It was okay. But it wasn't what we expect Jack Campbell to be when we heard him in preseason picking off Goff and the red zone, all that stuff. I need to see more of that from Jack. But I think Jack will bounce back and have a great game. I think we'll be talking about Jack Campbell in this next post-game show. So those are my two dudes. So we're wrapping up the show. Let's get to the predictions. So tell me who's going to win and tell me a bold prediction for the game. Go. Whoever.
Lions win. I think the Lions win. I think the score is going to be 27. I'd say 14, 27-14.
So you got it close.
Bold prediction. I say Terrion Arnold gets a pick 6.
Okay, I like it. The rookie taking it away from Baker. Oh man, can you imagine the trash talk after that play? Both of them are talkers.
That'd be crazy, man. That'd be crazy.
Don't get a penalty for trash talking. All right, let's just say what you got to say and move on. Act like you've been there.
You'd be all right.
Be what you got.
So I got them winning 27-21.
Ooh. You don't think they're going to cover? None of y'all think they're going to cover the spread. It's like, what, 7.5 right now?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, he said 27-14.
Oh, you said, okay, so, you said 27. I'm sorry. I thought you said 20. My bad.
Yeah, 27-21, and Ali McNeil has 3 sacks.
Woo! Damn, how many sacks did he have for the season? 5 last year, and you got him 3? I like that. You know why? Because the DJ Reader effect.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Reader, listen, y'all. DJ Reader, just his presence is going to require a double team. I'll be shocked if they go one-on-one with him. He is a mammoth of a man.
Is more of the DJ Reader, Aiden Hutchinson. Once DJ Reader is the added ingredient in there, but now who you got to defend Aiden, and you got to defend DJ Reader. Which Aleem almost got a couple of sacks last game.
Yeah, Aleem played well. Yes, he did.
So
and the thing is, if DJ even commands any kind of double team, everybody else got one-on-ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you win your games. You win one-on-one. Mm-hmm. You win your games. All right. I'm going to say, man, I don't want to get too overzealous because the last time it was too close to call. You know what? I'm going to say 31-17. I think we get a 2-touchdown victory over the Bucs. I think we make a statement. A lot of people maybe jumped off the bandwagon halfway through the game last time. So I say 31-17. And my bold prediction, Jay, you kind of stole a little of my thunder. Carlton Davis gets a pick 6. Because if anybody is going to pick off Baker Mayfield or know Baker's tendencies, it's Carlton Davis.
I like that.
Yeah, I think Carlton Davis gets a pick 6, man. I think that Baker throws a dumb pass like he's known to do and takes it to the house. So
as close as Brian Branch came to intercepting the ball at least 3 times, I'm surprised nobody said him because if he calms down, those are interceptions. So,
I want to say Brian Branch, but the thing is that Carlton, I don't care what anything he said. He's been great in his pressers. Hasn't thrown any fire on anybody, which is smart. He wants this game really bad.
Well, yeah, it's this game.
And he's going to take it personal. You're going to see a Carlton Davis motivated, aggressive, and ready to go. And that's why I think that, nothing in the world will make him happier to take a pick 6 to the house and in the crib on Baker Mayfield. And then probably talk mess after that too.
So
hey, maybe it's 2. Carlton and Terrion.
I wonder who Jamal Dean's going to cover. He might just cover anybody that's lining up on that side. I don't know. There's not that age where your best corner goes with the best receiver is that stuff is over with. I hate that too. That just takes away from You know
why that's the case, right? Because there's no shutdown corners. You can't.
There's no shutdown corners because they keep doing that dumb stuff all the time.
But you can't trust one cornerback to shut down the whole field. Very, very few teams have somebody like that.
Talking about the Bucs or just in the NFL period?
In general, like there's very few shutdown corner. Sauce is in that category.
I mean, there are corners out there that can shut down the side of the field.
Very few.
13. I mean, as much as I hate this guy and this team, but Jalen Johnson.
Okay, so there's 32 teams. You've named 3. That's my point.
Well, I mean, when we talking about that's just like kind of comparing elite quarterbacks, right? There are not a lot of elite quarterbacks in the game, but there are quarterbacks that aren't elite that can win, Super Bowls or still get that credit of being like really good.
When I say shut down, you're not throwing the ball to that person. That's it.
Oh yeah, you're not throwing the ball to either one of those guys.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
And I can only see maybe 3 elite quarterbacks being in the league right now, but yeah.
3 elite quarterbacks? There's only 1 elite quarterback, bro. It's number 15. It's number 15.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Joey Burrow.
No.
That's another elite quarterback.
No,
Lamar Jackson.
No.
He's a
they're the second tier of Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes and everybody else, bro.
Hey, listen. Well, I get that. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the best, but I'm saying like when it comes to elite, I'm talking about a guy that can lead their team to victory. Joe Burrow is one of those guys.
He also lost to the Patriots too.
I understand that.
I'm just saying.
Listen, Lamar.
Is he though? But is he though?
Is he? Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Really?
I'm not buying Joe Burrow no more.
He's had some moments where he's been elite, but he's not consistent enough, and his injuries have caught up with him.
Yep, best availability is the best ability.
And Jackson, yeah, maybe he might be a little bit.
And then take without Jamar Chase or Higgins on that team, then what is he? Think about that too.
That I think that can be said for any quarterback.
He's Slim Shady.
No.
Hey, does he not look like
Stafford went through this with the Detroit where they had Calvin Johnson. And, his QBR went up after Calvin left. His QBR went up. He became a way better quarterback because he knew how to throw. It forces you to throw better to better targets.
Great receiver as well. Great receiver. I'm talking about a Super Bowl winning receiver. I feel like Stafford has always had players. I think that it was just he didn't have a complete team because we can go in this all the way, but Stafford they were too busy trying to put just too many weapons around him rather than getting better in places they needed to get better.
He had no defense, bro. He was always playing. He was always playing behind. He was always playing
drafting
behind.
Eric Ebron over like Ndamukong Suh is just crazy.
Why are you bringing up?
You mean over Aaron Donald? You mean?
Yeah, over Aaron Donald. We whiffed on freaking DeMarcus Ware. We could keep going, bro.
You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of that was his fault. But if you look at Joe Burrow, when he plays, the way he plays very safe, right? But his team does not give him any protection at all. He was one of the
Whose fault is that? They whiffed on Penei Sewell.
Yeah, well, hey, that's their
They
fault.
wanted Jamar Chase.
That's their fault. That's their fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you're the quarterback. You can't yell at people to get you some line help.
Yeah, I agree. He should be a little bit more vocal about that. But like Joe Burrow, that guy be running for his life out there, man. It's like how do you
who said he wasn't being vocal about that? He got Jamar Chase with his teammate at LSU.
Yeah.
Well,
he probably had no problem with that one.
If he was vocal, listen,
he was like, "Hey, I'll get my boy. Go ahead."
That same guy he advocated for will be the same guy you'll be advocating for to get a contract and not be playing in these games without a contract. Because if something happens to Jamar Chase, knock on wood, his work isn't going to be really much at all. So I don't believe Joe Burrow is really too vocal. I believe he may have a little voice, but he's just there to play, man. The kid can play. He can just flat out play, man. But going back to the whole elite quarterback thing, I think it's really only 3 elite quarterbacks in this whole league. One being Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. Everybody else is just like you're good.
I think it's Lamar. I think it's Patrick, and everybody's below him.
Oh, yes. I agree. Yeah, you won't get any argument out of me. I just think that when we're talking about just an elite category, like a person that can go really to about any team and change them, I don't think Josh Allen can do it because that guy is a turnover machine. It's times that he looks great, but then there's times he looks horrible. Trevor Lawrence, not elite. Kirk Cousins, not elite. CJ Stroud, would you consider him elite, or do you think it's too early to be elite?
Too early. Way too early.
Too early?
The guy looked horrible against the last game, bro.
Yeah, Will Levis.
He didn't look horrible in the last game.
I thought
CJ Stroud was balling. What are you talking about?
I mean, he got better as the game went, but Indianapolis had a really good game plan against him. They put a lot of pressure on him, and they covered their receivers. He really got hot later on in the game, but I haven't seen him put a full game together a lot of times. He's very hot and cold sometimes. Sometimes he looks really, really good, and sometimes he looks like a rookie. or a second-year guy.
Well, because last year he was a rookie. A.
Yeah.
B. He played out his mind last year, so I don't know what games you were watching because I watched a lot of his games.
I'm
he was out there balling. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, he made some good plays, but I mean, like, I'm still. We'll see.
I mean, I wouldn't put him up in any kind of status yet until he plays his 3rd or 4th year in the NFL. Yeah. Then I can see where his stats lie at, how he's doing as far as the team.
What's I got some breaking news. If anybody cares about games within the NFC North.
AJ Brown is out, and so is
Keenan Allen is out, and Romo Dunze is in.
Let's talk real quick about that before we end the show. We got about 10 minutes.
Also, Evan Ingram's out.
Oh yeah, there you go. So the way I look at the lay of the land right now, I was thinking about this when I was working earlier. This is the best chance for the Lions to win a Super Bowl because you look at the teams that are a threat to us. The Eagles, we still don't know what they are. Can you really trust Jalen Hurts? A lot of people thought Jalen Hurts was elite. No, he's not. Okay. All right.
Nowhere near.
The Rams, they have Stafford. They have Cooper Kupp. They have a very young defense, but they're banged up. They have a lot of injuries. They traded away one of their best players, and one of their best players retired. So we'll see what happens with them. The 49ers put Christian McCaffrey on the IR for 4 games. They looked really good against a good Jets defense. I will say that. The 49ers are still the standard until we beat them. But they're old. They're really thin at certain positions. So we'll see on them. The Packers, Jordan Love. It was amazing to see that he could have played today, which is I thought was BS, but he's not playing
BS
today.
because he's not playing. Yeah. He said he's going to come back with the Rams.
Exactly.
That's his target.
Right. So he's going to be out a couple of games. If they lose today, which is very capable because the Colts really took it to the Texans, a team that a lot of people thought they were going to be Super Bowl. If they can beat the Packers today, then you're talking about the Lions winning today. That's 2 games up on the North right there. I do expect the Bears to lose tonight. And I don't know who the Vikings playing.
San Francisco.
49ers.
Oh, they're definitely going to lose. Okay. So we could literally win this division. Or we could be the only one winning today out of all our teams. So if you look at the
I got a little stat for you.
What's up?
The last time the 49ers beat the Vikings at home, guess how long ago it was?
You mean at Minnesota?
Yeah, in Minnesota.
Steve Young was playing.
It was 31 years ago.
Damn. They should have won that last game, but they played like ass that last game they played in Minnesota.
They missed a lot of – they were missing a lot of players on there, and that was Purdy in his rookie year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, he –
But what I'm saying is, don't y'all agree that this is the Lions' best chance? When you have all those teams I mentioned to you going through what they're going through, this is the Lions' opportunity to take advantage of it and get a lead in that. If they want that number 1 seed, which is what I'm shooting for, I want that number 1 seed. I want the championship to go through the 3-1-3.
Yeah.
And you've got it. That this is the best way to do it. Or at least the cards are falling into play. Do y'all feel that way?
Yeah, I do. I agree. I think that this year is one of the Lions' best, chances to win a Super Bowl. Meaning, because I feel like everybody is really getting themselves together. A lot of teams are young and trying to get their footing. But let's make no mistake about it. It's a long season. It's 17 weeks. Everything has to click in order for you to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, it was really hard making it to the NFC.
Yeah, they got to take care of their business. That's the main thing. The Lions got to take care of their business. Don't worry about anybody else. Take care of your business.
Remember last year, really quick. Remember last year that we were talking about, hey man, the Lions were on like a 2-3 game winning streak right before Thanksgiving, and we thought they were just going to go in and decimate the Packers, right? But it turned around to be the other way around. They beat us at home, So no matter
that was 3 games in 10 days. That's a lot to ask for a team.
I agree, but there are going to be times where the Lions are facing a lot of adversity and they need to just come through. I do believe that this is their best chance to win the Super Bowl, but let's just get through the season and let's see how things pan out, man, and let's go.
Get in there, B, real quick.
What's that?
So get in there real quick. Give me your thoughts on that. What we were talking about.
The Lions got to do what they got to do. Everybody, there's a lot of teams gunning for them, and I'm sure that Dan Campbell's picked a few games that they need to win that he's gunning for, like Seattle, Dallas. Those are teams that he didn't win to last year. He wants to win this year. San Francisco, he wants to get that game back. He's going to try his best to win both Green Bay games. We got Houston to play, so we got teams up there that are good teams that we're going to be facing. We got like a number one schedule. So, but we're 12th in schedule strength, I think it is, or we're 12th or something like that. So, we should be fine as long as they take care of what they got to take care of. They're going to go through adversity all season just because people are gunning for them. So,
but we want to see the championship in Detroit. Like, that is the goal. Get the number one seed. Everything else takes care of itself. That's what Dan Campbell said. He said we want to come through here, so they got to win the North, and that's going to be the most adversity they're going to face because every team in the North has gotten better. Well, Minnesota's kind of not on that path because they lost a lot of players, but at least Chicago and Green Bay will give us some fits as long as we can win those games. So if we can beat every team in the NFC North and win the games that we have to win, we can win. Indianapolis, Buffalo. These are games that people will say, oh, well, you don't want to overlook them. No, but they got to beat those teams. So, yeah, exactly. I think you hit the nail right on the head that if you look at the next 3 games the Lions have, they should be favored in every game. They're favored in this game. So you just take care of your business and let everything else fall where it falls. So, all right. Well, y'all, the game is about to kick off in 2 minutes. I'm trying to figure my YouTube, my freaking NFL ticket stuff here. So I'm going to work on this. But, hey, as always, it's great to have you all on. Go Lions. As always.
Baby.
Yeah, as always, stay classy, Whacker fans. Enjoy the game. We're out.
All right, y'all.
We some lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any